Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and this is a special edition of Heel Heat. On this edition, we're going to talk about one specific topic, and that is Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins fame and formerly part owner of Impact Wrestling, and has gone and purchased the NWA. Now, I wanted to make a video about this, about the pluses and negatives, where it could go, where it couldn't go, just to talk about it a bit, because as of right now, it's minor news, but in the future it could be looked back as huge news. First off, I can't wait till we see the Smashing Pumpkins covering Fuck the Police, or Gangsta Gangster, or 100 Miles and Running, or 8 Ball, or any of the other classic NWA songs. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. My off-screen producer is telling me that that's not the NWA that Billy Corgan bought. Who would have known? I guess apparently Billy Corgan has bought NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. Not NWA, the seminal gangster rap band. But anyway, all kidding aside, folks, this could be looked at one of the turning points in the history of professional wrestling, or it could just be another blip on the radar that's forgotten with time. As we know, the NWA at one point was the governing body for most of professional wrestling. It was the highest point you could reach in pro wrestling. The NWA World title was the title of Ric Flair. It was the title of Dusty Rhodes, of Lou Thesz, of Buddy Rogers, of some of the all-time greats that have done it, the Funk Brothers, the Briscoes. I mean, there was a time when the letters NWA was synonymous with wrestling. Now, since the late 80s and the last real big bastion of the NWA supremacy, the Jim Crockett's organization left the NWA and sold to Turner, and then Turner left NWA and took WCW off on its own. The NWA has seen some ups and downs since then. Famously, we had the moment in '94 when Shane Douglas throws down the NWA belt, declaring it a dead promotion, thus creating the ECW World title. We get little smidgets here and there. Then in about 2002, TNA is starting under the NWA TNA banner, which lasted for a few years, and then TNA and then the NWA governing board had their differences. They decided to part ways. Since then, we've had different things, different owners, different promotions have popped up and under the NWA banner. Some good, some not so good, some great, some not so great. The reason I'm mentioning all this is because we got a guy like Billy Corgan who for the last roughly 20 years has wanted to get in and make a big wrestling company in the way he sees wrestling, or how he'd like to see wrestling. We've seen a little bit of what he could do when he was running Impact Wrestling, and even more so with his Revolution Pro out of Chicago that he ran a few years ago. I think he has a good vision. I think he has the mindset to do so. There's a few things I believe Billy will need to make the NWA successful again. First off, let's talk about the lineage. The lineage, most of the people that are tied to that lineage have either retired or passed away. I'm sorry, folks, that's just the way it is. And fans that are my age and older, the fans that would actually remember the NWA when it was something, they're also either have moved on from wrestling or have passed away themselves or know the history of what the NWA has been since then. So you have to kind of fight. It's a yin and a yang. The NWA name means something, but it means something to people that are dwindling all the time. There's less and less actual NWA fans from the heyday of the NWA days as the years go on. And the reason I bring this up is it does have name value, and it is going to bring those guys, people like myself, people that grew up watching Jim Crockett, watching Harley race, watching, Jay Strongbow, Jules Strongbow, watching Wahoo McDaniel, Arn Anderson, Gene Anderson, Ole Anderson, the Four Horsemen. I mean, who could forget the Four Horsemen? So there is that tie to excellence. Problem is, we're about 2 generations separated from that. So we have to lean on that tie while also bringing the company forward into the future. I have no problem with them bringing out Ric Flair or Tully Blanchard or any of the guys, Magnum TA that are associated with the heyday of NWA wrestling. I have no problem with that. Make them a commissioner, make them an on-air talent, make them whatever you want, manager. But don't do it at the expense of what's going to be your bread and butter, and that's the new talent. And what I want to talk about, the 2 things I think that NWA needs to be successful. 1, they need to get on national television. And I'm not talking like the Sinclair broadcasting thing. I'm talking one solid channel, whether it be Destination America or Pop, like Impact has done, or a big channel like USA, like WWE has done. They need to get on a channel, and I know over-the-air television is dying. It's going away. We're going to go soon to all subscription-based services. I understand that. But for them to gain a foothold for now, while there's still that, they need to be on national TV at one set scheduled time, at one channel where everybody can tune in and find them, where it's easy, where someone in Des Moines, Iowa, or Panama City, Florida, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or Fry's, Virginia, can turn on the television and go, okay, NWA is going to be on at 9 o'clock on Friday, or whatever they decide the time. They need to do that. Second, they need to have name value, at least to start the company and to build their own stars. They need to bring in name talent. Now, part of that name talent, we have Billy Corgan, who has ties to Impact Wrestling and guys that he worked with there that I'm sure feel fondly of him. Bringing in a guy like Ethan Carter III when his contract runs up, or James Storm, that's going to help a lot to make the NWA gain credibility. Bringing in guys that are big on the indie scene, guys like Ricochet, guys like Cody Rhodes, who isn't officially signed anywhere. Guys like Alberto El Patron. Guys that carry that name value. The recently released Jack Swagger would be an excellent person to bring in. Guys that can actually go in the ring and have a name to them. Something to make the eyes come onto your product. It's a pipe dream, but Billy Corgan from Chicago, CM Punk's from Chicago, maybe say, hey, look, I understand if you want to do MMA, but why can't you appear on our show, talk about your MMA career? Talk about whatever you want. We'll give you a weekly interview segment if you want to do that. If you want to wrestle, we'll let you wrestle. If you want to be the commentator, we'll let you commentate. Just come on our show. Give us that name. Give us that value. And that is what's going to get them their foothold in. That's what's going to bring the eyes there. People that are fans of guys like Jack Swagger or Cody Rhodes or Ricochet or Will Ospreay or Marty Scurll or whoever they decide to bring in, Briscoe Brothers, anybody they do decide to choose to bring in as their main stars are going to tune in to see them and hopefully stay and become fans of the other talent. Now, other minor things they could do, I mentioned it with the TV thing. We are going to go to, in the very near future, we're going to have where everything's online, everything's streaming, the traditional TV system is going to go away. They're going to need to get a foothold in there. They're going to need an online presence, a streaming presence, either with Hulu, with Netflix, with whatever. Just they need to get in somewhere. Fight Network or WWE Network, whatever they do, New Japan World. Anything. Get their foot in somewhere where they can be seen on the internet. Because more and more people are cutting that cord as the years go on. Also, other little things. We see it a little bit with Impact Wrestling where they're partnering with AAA, with Ring of Honor where they've partnered with New Japan and CMLL. Why not make some partnerships? Partner with a PWG, partner with a Shimmer or Shine, or Evolve, or some of the other really great promotions, CW or CZW, PWX. You know, you don't necessarily have to partner with a bigger promotion. You could partner with some of these smaller promotions across the country, bring their talent in, say where they're coming from, and promote their local shows so you can see the talent on the NWA monthly show or weekly show in your local area. Wouldn't it be cool if they brought in somebody from Wildcat Sports to wrestle somebody from Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment that never wrestled each other? Wouldn't that be cool? I think it would. I mean, to me as a fan, I would enjoy that immensely. But basically, in all I'm saying, this has the potential, when we look back at it, this is either going to be a blip on the radar that everybody kind of forgets and goes, huh, you remember that time that Billy Corgan bought the NWA? Oh yeah, that was 7 owners ago. They still haven't done anything. Or this could be the turning point where we go, huh, remember when Billy Corgan bought the NWA and brought it back to prominence and brought it back to a national level where everybody takes it seriously again? That's what I want to happen. That's what I hope Billy Corgan does with his purchase of the NWA. And if you're a wrestling fan, I hope you feel the same way. But basically, that's all I have to say on this topic. My name is George Coles, and this has been another episode of Heel Heat.